Welcome to our posts. Today. We will see stories of r/today I effed up. Today I effed up by trying to bang a goth baddie, and my wife found out. My 31M wife 32F and I are in a healthy and happy relationship. That said, we've been together since high school, so we both feel that we missed out a little by being each other's only sexual experiences. We've talked about this at length and decided a few years ago that we're okay with having a few hall passes in our relationship, since we very much intend to stay together the rest of our lives and don't want any resentment over missed possibilities. Plus, it's pretty rare that we could even find such an opportunity, as it's a little hard to find hookups when you're in a committed marriage and don't go out much. We even gave each other advance approval in case a situation arises, so long as we're safe about it and tell each other immediately afterward. We've both used 1 HP, each with someone we knew well enough but would never see again, and no issues came out of it. In fact, it's only made us more secure in our relationship and how much we genuinely appreciate being with each other. Recently, I had to travel to London for work. I don't normally get to travel for work, so I decided to make a trip out of it and spend a few extra days of my own time in the city after the project was done. My wife couldn't join because she didn't have any vacation time left, but was very supportive of me taking some time to explore since I've never been to London and she has. Being cheap and being a pretty outgoing guy when I'm so inclined, I decided to stay in a hostel. I was interested in meeting other travelers since I didn't know anyone in the city and love being sociable with new people. I chatted with several of the people staying there, and in particular a very attractive French girl mid-20s who dressed super goth. For context, I love the goth girl look. I've been sucked into the goth GF propaganda online, much to the annoyance of my wife. It isn't her style, but she has been nice enough to cater to me by putting on a sexy goth outfit on occasion, since she knows it's a huge fantasy of mine. Still, I pester her constantly to be more goth because I enjoy it so much. Anyway, I ended up spending a little bit of time with goth French baddie. We both went to the hostel's happy hour event and hit it off there. I found out that she was recently single and was in London for an art show. It turned out we were both into emo music, and we talked about our favorite bands. I had the thought that she was acting a bit flirty towards me, but didn't think too much of it, until I later found myself sharing a sink with her in the hostel bathroom. The hostel was co-ed, so each floor had a small shared bathroom with a communal sink, and a door that was meant to be kept open, but which people frequently closed for the sake of having more privacy than just a stall to shower in. So I'm brushing my teeth while chatting up the real-life version of Shadowheart, who, mind you, is wearing an extremely low-cut top, when she suddenly closes the bathroom door behind us. In my mind, my wildest fantasy is about to come true. It's even more exciting because of the adrenaline rush of being in a semi-public setting, and a girl being so into me that she would make such a bold move. I can't believe this is actually happening to me. I instantly get hard. Then she turns around and asks, "Are you interested in learning about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ?" She had me cornered for 10 minutes trying to talk me into salvation, while I grew increasingly despondent and immensely disappointed, with the whiplash of going from what could have been one of the crowning moments of my life to pure and utter dejection. When I told my wife this story, she laughed for a solid hour. She said it's karma for annoying her about wanting a goth GF. TL Dr. Life dream was to bang a hot goth girl. Thought I was getting the opportunity, but got cock-blocked by Jesus Christ. God is real and he hates me. Next story. Today I effed up by telling my roommate to drop his Japanese fetish. My roommate only likes Japanese girls. He has never met a Japanese person in his life. Everything he knows he's learned from anime. He has shown me his dating profiles on Mixerdates, which I thought was straight up delusional. But since I didn't want to have an uncomfortable conversation with him and was certain he wouldn't hit, I didn't bring it up. But recently he actually brought a girl over who looked decent and really cute. An actual real-life Japanese girl. She swings by for his date and I'm trying so hard to contain myself and want to high-five him so bad. Anyhow, he goes out with her, and turns out she got really weirded out by him 'cause he kept bringing up these anime references thinking she would get it and reciprocate. I don't know what to say, except I knew it would happen. He's a really nice guy, just that he needs to drop the Japanese girl anime pedestal thing and be more normal. So I sit him down and start telling him how it's super weird to real females and how they aren't like that, and how if he gets out of this mentality, it would definitely improve his chances. He starts crying and doesn't want to talk to me anymore. He is also moving out next week. I lost a friend and someone to help pay the rent. TL doctor, don't try and get someone out of their fantasy place, regardless of what good you think you are doing for them. Next story. Today I effed up by buying my man an Xbox. He's been playing Fallout 4 all night for nearly a week. My partner is a hard-working, wonderful family man. He came from the Philippines and has grinded to make a home for him, his son, and me. He never spends money on himself, so I decided to take the plunge and buy him an Xbox. He had bought his son PlayStations before, and apparently he had played them. But finding time was difficult for him, and he's very respectful in not taking over his son's things. So for as long as I've known him, he's only ever played pool on his phone for half an hour or so before bed to unwind. But I had an inkling that he might like a proper platform, and this Xbox was going for an amazing price. So we booked a week off for an early birthday break, and I gave him the Xbox. Needless to say, he's played non-stop for days, for entire nights even. He absolutely flipping loves it. But I'm kicking myself because he's addicted to Fallout 4. If I had been just a bit braver, I could have bought him a PC instead, and we could have played Fallout 76 together. If only I'd known he loved these kinds of games, but now I've made him a console gamer. TLDR, my partner loves his Xbox, and it makes him so happy, but I wish I'd bought him a PC instead so we could play together RIP PC Master Race, but he deserves to be happy. Next story. Today I effed up by overstaying my welcome at my girlfriend's apartment. So I 27M have been dating my girlfriend 26F for about 3 months. Things have accelerated very quickly, and we've spent less than 10 nights apart from each other since we met. My AC is not keeping up with the Florida summer, and even though I've had an AC repair guy out 3 times, it's still about 80-85 degrees in my upstairs room all the time. My landlord doesn't want to replace it, and she's charging me about 50% less than she could for rent, so I haven't pushed her. She's not some big landlord. This is just her old townhouse, and is her one and only rental property. Anyways, I've been sleeping at my girlfriend's apartment a lot. She has 2 roommates, and today, one of her roommates was asking about my AC. I asked her if she was uncomfortable with me being here. Apparently, both her and the other roommate have sexual trauma, and having a man randomly in their apartment all the time and in the middle of the night has not done their mental health any favors. I feel terrible, and I sincerely apologized. One night we told her roommates we were staying at my place, but it was 85 in my room, so we came back. I went down to get water in the middle of the night, and she just saw a man standing in her kitchen after having fallen asleep on the couch. I scared the crap out of her, but I didn't realize it. Luckily, I can hear my girlfriend very calmly and cordially talking to her roommate downstairs. TL doctor, I was staying with my girlfriend, and her roommates are extremely uncomfortable with a man being around all the time. Next story. Today I effed up by meeting up with a girl from Bumble in the Philippines. A few weeks ago, I went to the Philippines with my family and decided, F it, let me download Bumble. So I match with this girl there and meet up with her. Originally, she wanted to ask me to go partying Sao Paulo party club area that's kinda like Tijuana. I think that's the closest resemblance I can think of a not much of a clubber, and my cousins told me it's better to go to Pabla if I'm with a local or if I'm around people I know. So I tell her like, nah, it's okay, maybe we can hang out another time. So it's the next day, right? She messages me that she's too tired and lazy to drink and asks if I'm down for dinner and to hang out. I'm like, sure. She's from my hometown, and it's kind of far from BGC, the city where I'm staying if there's traffic. So she brings up the idea of eating at KBBQ, and I'm like, sure, why not? And then I say we can just find a spot here in BGC. So she asks if I can grab their version of Uber her to BGC and back home, and I'm like, sure, cause why not? Elm being nice, and compared to the S, Grab is cheap. So when she finally gets here, we go to the place and see that there's a long line, and we decide to see if other places are open, but they're not. And then she goes, do you want to just go to Pabla? We don't have to drink. There's food places there, and we can just hang out after. I'm kinda iffy on the idea, but I'll say sure, why not? So we grab there, and the whole ride she's just on her phone texting. And I'm just sitting there like, anyways, we arrive to Pabla and decide to eat at Filling Station, an all-out American diner. But yeah, we get food, and as I'm paying for our meal, she goes, actually, my friends are in Pabla right now. Do you want to hang out with them? And that like really threw me off. And I was like, honestly, not really. I just wanted to hang out with you, and I'm not in the mood to drink or party. Then she goes, no, we don't have to. We can just go around, just Simon. And before I can answer, she gets up and tells me to come on, and we're going down the stairs, and her friend calls her, and it's some random guy, and she introduces us, and we exit the diner after. As we're walking around, they ask me what I want to do, and I'm like, I'm not really in the mood to drink or anything, and then they're like, Simon, just party with it'll be fun, and I said, really, I'm not in the mood. Then as we keep walking, the girl asks me, what do you want to do then? And I kept saying that I just wanted to hang out with her, and I didn't want to party. She asked me this about 5 times, but she wasn't listening, and then she goes, well, do you just want to go home then? Because I'm gonna go with my friends. And my stomach just sunk because I felt like I wasted my time. Then I'm just like, yay, I may just go home and call a Grab. Then she goes, okay, I'll wait with you. As I'm booking my Grab, she goes, wait, didn't you say you were gonna pay for my ride back? And I looked at her and said, yeah, but that's when you said that we were gonna hang out, so nah. Then when I say my Grab is here, she goes, Simon, just give me 500 pesos then, and her friend like stepped towards me, about to corner me. And in my mind, I wanted to crash out and like actually start crap. But also, I don't know these people, and the area I'm in, and I don't want to be into some deep trouble over 500 pesos. So to me, 500 pesos isn't a lot, so Elm, like, you know what, I'll just give it to her so she can leave me alone, and I can just go back home. That Grab back home was the most defeated feeling ever. I've never felt so defeated in my entire life. As soon as I enter my Grab, she texts me, are you sure you don't want to come? We have more friends coming. I just reply with, no, I already said multiple times I didn't want to drink. I hope you enjoyed your free food and free rides. Turns out, a mutual's friend knows her, and she apparently has 2 BFFs and does this to hella guys, especially foreigners, and she tries to get them to pay for her and her friends at the clubs. TLDR, I meet a girl on Bumble. She tries to get me to party, but instead she robs me out of roughly $7. Next story. Today I effed up by believing in the 3-day rule in dating. Honestly, I don't know why I'm writing this. I guess even if it helps a single romantic somewhere in the world, it will be worth it. I went on a date with a girl I'd matched on a dating app. As an average-looking guy, I don't get many matches, and the ones I get usually end up ghosting or unmatching me for no reason. Men will know that feeling. Anyway, this girl was different than the rest. We matched, talked for a few hours, and decided to go on a date the very next day. A surprise, but a welcome one. The next day comes, and we meet and share a bottle of wine. A few awkward moments in the beginning, but that's understandable for a first date. Overall, it was a pleasant date, and I thought she shared the same sentiment. We part ways, and my effed commences. I liked her enough to send a message in the next few hours, but decided to consult some of my friends and sleep on it first. Everyone gives a different advice, and I decide to follow the 3-day rule in dating, thinking that giving her too much attention too soon would scare her off. For those who don't know the 3-day rule, It's waiting at least 3 days to text or call a girl after the first date. I wound up caving in and messaging her a day later. Told her that I had a plan for our 4th date. We talked about our upcoming 2nd and 3rd dates, half jokingly. She seemed very offended about me not texting her for a full day after our date. I tried to explain that I was swamped at work and only had very short windows of opportunity to text and waited until I'm fully available to talk. I apologized twice and expressed my willingness to go on another date. She sent me a few cold messages and finally unmatched me. We could have been really good together, but I decided to follow a stupid rule and not my heart. Because of that, maybe I've missed a beautiful chance at love. Who knows? Everyone is different, and they have different feelings and opinions about dating. But I've learned that I should follow my heart from now on, and I suggest every hopeless romantic out there do the same thing. TL Doctor went on a date with a beautiful girl and had a lovely time. But instead of following my heart and texting her as soon as possible, I decided to wait 3 days. She thought I didn't care for her, unmatched me. Next story. Today I effed up by not understanding what indirect heat meant. I met my now husband about 15 years ago. I decided that I needed to cook a good dinner for him and impress him with my grilling skills. After perusing several recipes, I decided to make beer can chicken. If you don't know what that is, you basically shove a can of beer up the bottom side of a chicken and use the legs and beer can as a tripod to keep the chicken stable on the grill. I made a great rub and coated the chicken in a little olive oil and all the good spices. I was so excited for dinner. Now the thing is with beer can chicken ... it quote essa set it and forget it kind of meal. You're not supposed to take the lid off the grill because it loses too much heat. So things are going well. Chicken is on the grill. I make some delicious sides. Now husband comes over and I tell him I have great plans for us tonight. Chicken should be ready. I walk outside, take the top off the grill, and the chicken is crispy. Good to go. I go inside, grab a platter. He follows me out. I take the top off the grill. When I tell you that chicken burst into flames like it was ascending to hell, I'm not kidding. Now husband practically dies laughing. I practically die of embarrassment. We ended up ordering pizza. TLDR, didn't realize indirect heat meant coals should be in a ring around the edge of a grill, not spread across the bottom. Sent a chicken to hell. Next story. Today I effed up by finding out my dad is cheating on my mom. Long story short, I hid an old Android phone on my dad's car so it alerts me when he's coming home because I vape THC for my anxiety, but he doesn't agree and will confiscate any device if he sees one. He knows what they look like. Today I got a notification that he left work at the usual time, so I tidied up my room for his arrival. Then strangely he didn't arrive, so I checked his location, and to my surprise he was at a very shady motel in a very shady low-life neighborhood near the factory he works at. He spent a full hour there before making it back to work. He's the boss owner of the company, and I suspect an employee already. Asked my mom if she knew where my dad was, and she told me, "I don't know," in a worried tone. What the F should I do? I don't know who to talk to about this. Should I tell my sister? Should I tell mom? I don't want to ruin our home or have the family business suffer because of this. I know this sounds dumb. We have a ski trip planned for my mother's birthday in Argentina in a month. Should I keep quiet until then? Should I keep quiet forever? I love skiing, damn. TL Doctor, I clocked my dad at a drive-in motel in a shady area of town full of hookers and brothels using the Life 360 app while mom was out walking the dogs. Next story. Today I effed up by touching a man's blazer looking for a price tag, thinking it was a mannequin. I went to a local clothing store kinda like Zara or similar store on my local mall trying out new clothes since university is about to start. While looking for one, I found a blazer that fits into my style. I started thinking outfit ideas for this and started touching the mannequin thinking it was a mannequin. He was looking through his phone at this time. This man is as steady as a frozen dead body. I never thought this mannequin was somehow alive. I started going through his body looking for a price tag. When I tell you my heart dropped when this mannequin moved, my heart dropped. This man looked back and stared at me thinking I was a monster and an alien from another planet. He asked, "What's your problem?" In the most scary side I face ever, I immediately said, "OMG, I'm sorry, I thought you were a mannequin, and I was just trying to look for the price tag, I'm so sorry." We talked and talked about the outfit and where it came from. Then eventually he gave me his Insta since he usually posts outfit checks there. Pretty funny, and I totally effed up today, Elmao. Well, at least I managed to get a friend from it. TL Doctor. I started touching this man's body looking for a price tag, thinking it was a mannequin. Next story. Today I effed up by cleaning my ears properly. Now, I guess this is more I effed up all my life until now. I'm 20, I'm an adult. I thought I knew some stuff, including how to clean my ears. About 2 weeks ago, I went on vacation, and I went by plane. When I got back, I started to have trouble hearing. I had to tell everyone to speak louder. I could barely understand them. I thought it was normal. Everyone always tells you that it's because of the pressure while flying and all that. So, 2 weeks passed. I tried some sprays, some medication. Didn't work. Tonight, I've tried the spray again, and I went to clean my ears with a Q-tip, like I always do. This time, it was different. I put the Q-tip in a different angle, and it went farther. It went really far. Farther than I've ever done it, and it hurt a bit. But when I pulled the Q-tip out, God, what a sight. There was this 90% solid matter on it, a really dark brown, really dark, black almost. I used another Q-tip. More stuff came out, and then another and another, and I kid you not, at the end of this, there were like 15 completely covered Q-tips. Ugh. I then went to talk to my family, and I could hear them just fine. Yay. But I feel so dumb right now. TLDR, I'm 20, and this is the first time I've cleaned my ears properly. It was utterly gross. Next story. Today I effed up by assuming the CEO was pregnant. So, I run these workshops for pregnant women. All about tips, nutrition, the works. Today's workshop was going great, and towards the end, a CEO showed up. Naturally, I wanted to network and maybe get some future collabs going. We chatted for a bit, and I was super nervous. As we talked, I noticed her belly was a bit rounded, and I just assumed she was pregnant. So, trying to be all friendly and inclusive, I said, "We'd love to have you join our next workshops for your baby." She gave me this awkward smile and replied, "Thank you, but I'm not pregnant." Cue instant regret. There was this painfully awkward silence, and I tried to change the topic, but it was too late. I walked away feeling like I'd just blown a huge chance. TL Doctor hosted a workshop for pregnant women, thought the visiting CEO was pregnant, invited her to future events for her baby, and she wasn't pregnant. Now I want to disappear. I hope you guys like this video. If you did, make sure like, comment, share, and subscribe the channel. Our posts